In just a few hours, AEW will announce who will be competing in their biggest tournament of the year, the Continental Classic. Now, this video was initially going to be a prediction video about who will win it after the brackets are known, but now this is going to be a 2-in-1 prediction, as I thought with a few hours remaining, why not also predict who I think will be in it? It's not like you guys will have to wait to find out if I'm correct either. Now, if you're not keeping up with the AEW product, you may have missed out on arguably the three biggest names you could possibly announce already being announced at Full Gear last Saturday, with those names being the former TNT champ Kyle Fletcher, the IWGP World Champ Konosuke Takeshita, and the AEW Unified Champ Kazuchika Okada. One thing I'd briefly like to mention, as I'm sure it'll soon be clarified, is I'm not sure what will be going on with the Unified Belt. If you go to the AEW website, they list the Continental and International titles still as existing, and I know the lineage is still ongoing as far as I'm aware. While this usually wouldn't matter, Don Callis' recent comments where he may have either accidentally claimed that the Continental title will be on the line as opposed to the Unified title, or he did it on purpose. I'm sure it'll be clear in a few hours, but if it does end up being the Continental belt, then I'm not big on that in all honesty. So I'm just pre-firing my negative opinion on it if it does happen anyway. Enough yapping though, we already have 3 members, and honestly, while I didn't think Kyle Fletcher would be in it, the other 2 are clear as day. But with that being said, here's my brief prediction on who will be in this year's C2. In the Blue League, I've got Speedball Mike Bailey, Josh Alexander, Kazuchika Okada, Orange Cassidy, Brody King, and Kevin Knight. The only real problem with this is there isn't a designated pin eater, and usually that would be an issue. I don't think in this case it really is. Most of these names, apart from Okada, really could drop like a match or 2. I think that'd be quite natural, to be completely honest. You've got Speedball and Josh with their TNA history. Orange Cassidy stated he wants to be in the C2. Brody King, obviously, just lost the tag belt, so it makes sense. And Kevin Knight, obviously, I think this is where they're going to split up Jet Speed. And ultimately, I'd probably have Okada winning the league, and either Orange Cassidy or Speedball making it through. Maybe Kevin Knight if you really want to go for like an underrated pick, but that's how I've got it going. And then the Gold League, I've got Kyle Fletcher, Konosuke Takeshita, obviously, Eddie Kingston, Pac, Wheeler Yuta, and Hechicero. I think there's a potential that Mascara Dorada will be a part of it as opposed to Hechicero. I think Hechicero will be in it. Him and Yuta are probably going to be the designated pin eaters. I can honestly see Darby Allin in it as well. He's shown he's pretty clearly chasing after the Death Rider still, so it makes sense. Yeah, that's my prediction really. Again, I think there are a couple more names you could put in there, but the names you're seeing on screen now are the names that I would personally predict the Blue League and the Gold League. Maybe a couple of names swapped, like Hechicero in the Blue League, for example, but if they really want to cement this as like, the premier tournament, like you could have Moxley in it, you could have a Swerve in it. I think realistically that is what they're going to do anyway, with Okada going out in the semis and Fletcher maybe potentially winning it. I think that's how I would ultimately predict it anyway, unless a super big name is announced. But that's ultimately what I would predict the 2 leagues to be as. I think honestly, I'll probably get like 7 of the 12 right. I'd say it really depends. They've not gone international yet, so that's the only thing stopping Dorada from being in mine, because he's obviously not under dual contract or signed with AEW. Nobody in the past from another promotion has taken part in the C2 yet, so I don't see it happening. With all that being said, I guess I'll record again in a couple of hours when the participants are officially announced. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how many I get right. I definitely think that's a very realistic prediction. But okay, I'm yapping. I'm yapping. This video will be like 50 hours long if I keep talking.
1 hour later.
Well, it's just been announced, and I'm 7 right. I think that's what I initially said in my thingy. I'm gonna go check actually. Give me a moment. Wow. Okay, so Josh Alexander not being in it is very surprising. I was very right about Speedball versus Kevin. I literally clocked that just before fucking recording the thingy. I was just like, hang on, they were kind of teasing something at Full Gear. So I was definitely right about that. No Brody, no Bandito. No Bandito is not really surprising. He's got prior obligations. OC, yeah, it was obvious. No Eddie. I mean yeah, he's gonna be doing Death Rider shit then. Pac, yeah, obvious. No Wheeler, but instead, no Wheeler Yuta. But you get Claudio Castagnoli and John Moxley. What the fuck, man? And then also, what a shout with Dorada though. I was like actually on the money, but that's surprising. That is surprising. Those leagues are strong. Those leagues are ridiculously strong. Roddy was one that I was considering, but I was just like, nah, probably. I was definitely like, if Kyle O'Reilly, because I know Tony said in the press conference or something, he was like, no Kyle O'Reilly, and I was like, oh damn, that sucks. Yeah, that was the one that I was kind of like, Kyle will be in it. Nope. But Roddy's not surprising at all. Is he in the same league as Cassidy? He is. He is. Okay, that's gonna be fun. That's what they were building that story up to. Is this match? Dorada versus Takeshita. No shot. I've just clocked. Oh my god, the fucking funny tweet. The tweet from fucking ages ago that tricked Meltzer into thinking it would be on the card. Takeshita Dorada is finally happening, bro. And then also the Holiday Bash special in Manchester, bro. Tony Khan, bro. Dorada Takeshita in person would be impeccable. It would be impeccable. But it seems that one thing I was wrong about though was well, Fletcher and Takeshita being in the same league. It'd be Fletcher and Okada, which I mean it's basically just a rerun of last year. Which I imagine they'll be talking about that a lot in the build up to the match. I'm gonna dip because I need to go figure the fuck. I'm pulling up an Excel sheet. I'm predicting every single match. I'm not gonna go in depth. With that being said, I'm going to go lock in because this will probably take me like an hour or so to fully predict, get my predictions 100%, and then I'll be back. I mean, I don't know if they specified actually, if they specified it was unified title or continental title. I'd have to rewatch the recording. Hopefully it's unified because this is a unified title, stacked thing. Wow.
1 hour later.
So as you can see on the screen, I've just completed mapping this out. It didn't take nearly as long as I expected, but I'm pretty happy with it. I think Okada is going to be facing Takeshita in the semis. I think that's 100% happening. So I've got Takeshita top in the blue league. I think that makes the most sense. It's more stacked, I would say, than the gold league. Maybe not. No, I'd definitely say the gold league's more stacked than the blue league, honestly. Yeah. I had to have Takeshita basically almost clean sweep the blue league, and to compensate, Okada can't get it done, and he finishes second in the gold league, giving them the semis result. Puts Fletcher in the finals. It also gives Fletcher double bragging rights when he beats Takeshita for the unified title, and also for tying against Okada, but also I guess topping the league, putting him over Okada. And even if he doesn't win, even if Claudio goes on to beat him in the semis, as you can see here, I've got Claudio in. I think it'll be enough. His top in the gold league over Okada would be enough for his 20 to mean something, and him to go on to do something greater. Who else? Speedball on 4 points with Kevin Knight. I initially was going to have Speedball over it, and to be honest, I think Speedball deserves more points than Kevin. I don't think that's the way they're going to go. I think they're going to have Kevin join the Hurt Syndicate, and I think that's going to split up Jet Speed. Maybe not a heel turn or anything, but I think it'll split up Jet Speed. And to do that, you need Kevin getting a major result, which is the tie against Fletcher, and also a win over his teammate Speedball. So I think that's what happens. Speedball's a weird one. That I initially had him beating Darby, but Darby needs to be on 7 points here. Even if he's solely in this to target the Death Riders, he needs 7 points here, at least. He needs to be third in the league, and to be third behind Okada and Fletcher, it's not really a loss. And to be fair as well, with a win over Speedball, or alternatively a win over Okada would put Darby through. So I think that it's a close call. One change result and he goes through. So realistically, I think that gold league, in terms of the order at least, is correct. I don't know about the point split. I think the order is correct. Pac is another one that I was a bit unsure of, because you need to make him, since the Death Riders, he needs to be a threat. But Darby's going to beat him in singles action, without a Death Riders interference. That's the reason they had, Darby Pac at Full Gear, right? So that Darby could then get a non-Death Riders interference match against Pac, which he wins. So that was clear as day. But with Pac's other results, I don't think he gets a win against Fletcher, and I definitely think he beats Kevin Knight. I wasn't sure about Speedball, and I initially had Speedball beating Pac, but then I went, well, Pac needs more points, and I think Speedball being tied with Kevin makes sense, and I think that's the way it will happen. But then obviously loses to Fletcher and Darby, so if you're having all that stuff happen with Pac, he needs to counteract that, especially as his Death Rider stuff. Even though he's been out injured for ages, he's been built up as this new star, and that needs to be shown. So him beating Okada is like a must, and I'm pretty sure, I'm like near certain he will beat Okada. Again, it'll be a rematch of their match from Dynasty 2024. That was a fantastic match. I don't think he'll be as good. Like since Pac's return, outside of his match with Darby, which was fantastic, but I don't think he did much in that Darby match to make it good. It was mainly Darby just taking insane bumps. And outside of that, I don't think he's done much at all. None of his matches have really wowed me. His new change-up in style, I understand it's... But maybe not, though. That's the thing. I don't understand, because he's been a heel since, what, 2017? That was like when he went in, joined the Cruiserweight division officially, and he turned heel. Went to AEW, stayed as a heel throughout his entire run. But throughout all that entire period, he's kept his high-flying style. I can understand him wanting to change it up. Maybe it'll give him a longer career, maybe it'll give him this, that, whatever. But realistically, I think Pac should not be sacrificing his high flying. Thankfully, I saw a Black Arrow. Unless I'm misremembering, he's not hit a Black Arrow or attempted it at all until that Derby match. He needs to bring back his high flying, in my opinion at least. His matches have just been so sluggish, and his new finisher works against like lightweight opponents. But again, when you're putting him against like Ishii, it just looks bad. It does. Like I respect the lariat, but you've got to hit. Like it's not about hitting it with speed, especially with him it is, right? But like the best lariats, you look at your Stan Hansen's, for example. Stan Hansen's lariat is legendary because of the sheer force he hits the opponent with, right? Pac is not providing that force; he's providing speed, and it just doesn't look good, in my opinion. But anyways, that's enough yap. I don't think his match with Okada will be as good. I'm pretty sure he beats Okada though, so I'm pretty happy with that Gold League result. Fletcher, I think the only time he drops points, he goes unbeaten. The only time he drops points is just a time limit tied to Okada. 100% I can see that. And then again, Kevin Knight needs a big result. So I just went, fuck it, Fletcher. I'm not going to have to go like outside of that completely unbeaten. He needs to just barely beat Okada. So 1 point makes sense. He gets 2 draws. Okada gets 1 and a loss. So yeah, I've got Fletcher currently tying with Kevin Knight. I don't know how that happens realistically. It could be time limit draw. I think if you want to build Kevin Knight in the Hurt Syndicate as a babyface, you have it as a time limit draw. Like he survives Kyle Fletcher and puts up a good fight as well. If Kevin Knight is going to be a heel in the Hurt Syndicate, which again I think the Hurt Syndicate thing probably happens. You know they've expressed their interest. I think MVP did. He expressed his interest in a young high flyer. Kevin Knight fits that description perfectly. Maybe Leo Rush, but I don't really want Leo Rush in the Hurt Syndicate. There's a lot you can do with that. I'm pretty sure the order is at least correct, with Fletcher first, Okada second, Darby third, Pac fourth, and then realistically, I think Mike Bailey fifth, Kevin Knight sixth, or alternatively a tie between those two, which makes the most sense. Yeah, I think that's how the Gold League goes. Realistically, prediction wise, even if that's not how I would personally book it, but hey, you'll see more about my opinions shortly, later down the line, I'll say. Onto the Blue League though, and this is like a tricky one. So let's start with the front runners, right? Takeshita wins it. He's got to face Okada. Like I said earlier, I think he faces him in the semis. I think Takeshita goes unbeaten. You know, he's got to build up his IWGP match with Yota Tsuji. So to do that, he needs to look, especially if Tsuji beats Takeshita after he goes unbeaten in his Blue League run. It has to happen, right? For both promotions, really. So Takeshita has to go unbeaten here. And I wanted him losing points, but not going unbeaten. So a draw was like, yeah, I'm gonna have him draw to someone. Roddy Strong was like maybe, but again, I think if you're pushing any member of the conglomeration, it's Kyle O'Reilly. 100% it's Kyle O'Reilly. He's not in the tournament. He'll probably be taking a break until New Year, really. I don't think you give Roddy a singles push, but you need to keep him as like a serious challenge, right? So I've given him a win against Dorada, loss against Cassidy, a loss against Takeshita, no surprise. Same with Claudio, no surprise. But then a win against Mox, and that's the thing. That's one of the results I'm so unsure about. I prefer a Kyle O'Reilly push more than Roddy. So I think in that sense, if you're giving Mox, like at the same time, what I'm about to say is gonna look stupid because you're gonna see the image and it's fucking Mox going red carpet. But I want beating Mox to feel like a big thing, and you know Kyle made him tap twice and he didn't lose in their previous 2 matches. I want Kyle's win to mean something, and it does. If everyone beats Moxley, I think it kind of takes away from that, especially with Roddy. So that's why I'm kind of a bit unsure. But either way, Roddy needed 6 points in my opinion, and I think it happens. I think he does beat Mox, especially as they've got a bunch of history as well. I think Roddy beats Mox. That's what they're setting up for. Orange Cassidy 6 points as well. I think it makes sense. People have asked him. I'm pretty sure. I don't know where it was, but someone's asked him like, "Are you going to return to the international title run, Orange Cassidy? The world title match against John Moxley, Orange Cassidy, you know?" And he was like, "No, I'm just chilling with the conglomeration." I don't know if that was kayfabe or not. yeah, I think realistically, that's what you got to build this as. Even when he's only giving like a fraction of that, he's not 100% trying. He can still score 6 points. I think that is the way to go with that. And those 6 points, I think beating Mox makes sense. Um, and the problem with the Mox red carpet is, well, again, it wasn't initially planned. It was like, well, he's gonna lose to Kester and Claudio, clear as day. And then Cassidy, for me, again, Cassidy has faced Mox multiple occasions. They're rivals. And if you're really building this up, I don't know what they're going for here, and time will tell. But I think they're going for like Moxley with the Death Riders. Like he was winning, but he was getting interferences. That's how he was winning. He was keeping the title. Now that he doesn't have the Death Riders, he's struggling, and mentally he's getting weaker and weaker. That's the story you need to build. Even Orange Cassidy, who isn't giving 110% to beat John Moxley, beats John Moxley. That's the story you have to have there, and that gives OC a big win. So his 6 points still, like, even though that's good. And then beating Roddy. I mean, they're building up to this. Roddy's been so like, I don't know, I don't want to join the conglomeration, blah blah blah. I think they're either going to build up to Roddy beating Cassidy and turning heel. I don't think that happens. I think they haven't joined the conglomeration after like gaining some level of respect for Cassidy, and that happens with OC beating Roddy. Dorada is a very very weird one. I rate him very highly. He's incredible in ring. He's one of the best luchadors in the world. I'd say he's the best, in my opinion. And I want him to be built up as some megastar, and I think he will. He's 23. You know what I mean? Like you got to give him some time. But as much as I want Dorada to win against Takeshita, for example, or to get a win over Mox, I don't think it happens. I think like you can look at the history of the CT. Like last year, for example, you had Mortos. Mortos is a fucking giant. He scored. I don't think he scored a single point. Commander scored 3, and that was like a big win against Claudio. I'm pretty sure it was against Claudio. Mortos. Mortos is a beast. No pun intended, right? And he didn't score a single point. I don't think they're gonna give like. I think the only reason they'll give Dorada any points here, like even as like a young up and coming luchador, is out of respect for his in-ring talent and out of respect for him being the next big thing in CMLL. I think they gotta do their part to help him along. And him getting win over Orange Cassidy makes sense. I don't think he beats Mox, because again, I don't know when that happens. I think realistically Mox gets at least some points from this. I think he either starts the tournament off strong beating Dorada, or he ends it off strong. Is like he's got 3 points, he's got 2 matches left, he could still qualify, blah blah blah, and then he bottles it. Well, I say bottles it. He wasn't, he couldn't physically at that point. He physically could not make it through with Claudio and Take going as strong as they are. If Dorada beats Mox, he's on 7 points. I see that happening. I realistically see that happening. And I think, like last year, they're going to try and build. I mean, like the year prior as well, they're going to try and build up a new star. It was Eddie, obviously, first T2. Last year it was easily Kyle Fletcher, right? So I think you have that this year. Again, maybe with Speedball, maybe with Kevin Knight, maybe with Darby. Again, it depends where you want to go with Darby from here. Obviously, he said something along the lines of, "As long as the Death Riders exist, I'm going to stop them," or something. It was like something like that. And obviously, I think Claudio wins. I think after Claudio beats Mox, I think the Death Riders turn on Mox, to be honest. They're already on the edge, you can tell. I think that'll be the first, like, that'll be it. They'll turn on Mox after that. And yeah, I think this year, Claudio is the star, right? He's the star of the show. He is this year's Cal Fletcher. Again, it could be Dorada, in a sense, if you have him beat Mox. I don't think you do. Mox needs something from this. I think a red carpet would be fucking hilarious, but I don't think it happens, to be honest. I don't think it happens. Um, but yeah, Claudio, I think he comes second. He faces Fletcher in the semis, and I think that's who wins it. Whoever wins that match wins it. And I think, like I said earlier, I think Takeshita and Okada will tire themselves out 30 plus minute match at World's End, right? And I think Claudio and Fletcher, obviously it's going to be a heavy hitting bout. It won't be nearly that level. And I think it ultimately comes down to what title is on the line, because it's still, I'll have to rewatch, but as of recording this voiceover, you'll see in the edit if it's different. But it's looking like they haven't specified what happens with the titles yet. I might be wrong about that, but I don't know. But with no info still, if it is the Continental title on the line, I think you've got Claudio winning. Obviously, if you want to build Claudio up to be like the new leader of the Death Riders, unified title makes more sense, 100%. But you're also winning the Continental Classic. With Fletcher just dropping the TNT belt, to Briscoe, I see If it's the unified title, he wins. He beats Takeshita in the semis, in the final, sorry, after Takeshita beats Okada. And again, I can see Claudio beating Takeshita as well, and that would also be a huge result. It's not just winning the C2 and winning the Continental title, you know, it's beating Takeshita. So you're getting a three-way for that. And I think that is the equivalent of winning the unified title as well. So with Claudio only winning it if it's the Continental title in my eyes, and Fletcher winning the unified if that's what's on the line. Ultimately, that's my that's my prediction. I might make a video. I've got a lot of videos planned. I'm not sure how many will come out. Once the C2 is over, just a short video. Let's just see how many I got right in terms of the order, in terms of who won which match. I could like I've got you've got the table here. You just have to get the official table, line it up. Let's see how much I got right. Might make an update video to see how well this prediction goes. But anyways, with that being said, new video coming soon as long as things go correctly and I can stay fucking motivated. That's the main thing. I've been working on this video for months really, and it's related to this. So if you enjoy this video, keep your eyes peeled for that. But yeah, don't expect this video to come out soon. But I'm trying. I'm very much trying. So if you like this video, you're into the C2 wrestling, whatever in general, then maybe consider subscribing or keeping your eyes peeled for that. But yeah, I've got a bunch of videos coming out as well. A bunch of them ideally relating to wrestling. I've got a couple. I've got a couple of videos definitely lined up for after this next video comes out. Again, this next video will be taking up a lot of my time. Hopefully, I can get it out. Hopefully, I can get it out soon. But yeah, time will tell really. But with all that being said, I hope the C2 goes well. Um, I'm really excited for this year, maybe more than last year, which is saying something considering, you know, Osprey. I, I'm really excited for Takeshita versus Dorada. That for me is going to be this year's Osprey Derby. Like that is the equivalent. You know, that's how highly I'm thinking of this match. There are a bunch of other matches as well that are looking good. The storylines that are going to take place, it might be better than last year, to be honest. Yeah, really excited. So I'm hoping it goes well. I'm hoping everyone enjoys the C2 as well as this video and my next video as well. So with all that being said, that's all I guess. What? What? Moxley? Oh my god. Oh my god! No shot! What? This is stacked! This is stacked! Holy shit!